The philosophy of science is a branch of philosophy that scrutinizes the assumptions, foundations, and implications of science. It is concerned with what constitutes scientific knowledge, the reliability and validity of scientific theories, and the ethical implications of scientific research. Central to the philosophy of science is the scientific method, a systematic approach to investigation that underpins the acquisition of new knowledge. This narration delves into the key aspects of the scientific method, its philosophical underpinnings, and its role in advancing human understanding. The scientific method is not a monolithic entity but a collection of methodologies that have evolved over centuries. Its roots can be traced back to ancient civilizations where observational and empirical approaches began to take shape. The Greeks, particularly Aristotle, made significant contributions with their emphasis on observation and logic. Aristotle's empirical approach laid the groundwork for systematic investigation, although his methods were not as rigorous as those developed later. The scientific method, as we know it, began to take a more recognizable form during the Renaissance. Figures like Galileo Galilei and Francis Bacon were pivotal in this transformation. Galileo's use of systematic experimentation and Bacon's advocacy for inductive reasoning were critical in moving away from purely philosophical or theological explanations of natural phenomena to a more empirical and testable approach. The scientific method is characterized by several core components: observation, hypothesis formulation, experimentation, analysis, and conclusion. Each of these stages plays a crucial role in the process of scientific inquiry. Observation is the starting point of any scientific inquiry. Scientists observe phenomena and gather data, which can be quantitative or qualitative. Observation is not merely passive but often involves careful measurement and documentation. Based on observations, scientists formulate hypotheses. A hypothesis is a tentative explanation that can be tested through further investigation. It is crucial that hypotheses are falsifiable, meaning they can be proven wrong through experimentation. This is the process of testing hypotheses under controlled conditions. Experiments are designed to isolate variables and determine causal relationships. Reproducibility is a key aspect, as experiments must yield consistent results when repeated. After experimentation, the data collected are analyzed to determine whether they support or refute the hypothesis. Statistical methods are often employed to ascertain the significance of the results. Based on the analysis, scientists draw conclusions. If the hypothesis is supported, it may contribute to the development of a theory. If it is refuted, scientists may revise the hypothesis or formulate new ones. The scientific method employs different types of reasoning: inductive, deductive, and abductive. Inductive reasoning involves drawing general conclusions from specific observations. For example, observing that the sun rises in the east every morning may lead to the general conclusion that the sun always rises in the east. While induction can provide probable conclusions, it does not guarantee certainty. Deductive reasoning involves drawing specific conclusions from general principles. If a general principle is true, then the specific conclusion derived from it must also be true. For example, if all humans are mortal and Socrates is human, then Socrates must be mortal. Deduction is more certain than induction but relies on the initial premises being true. Abductive reasoning involves inferring the best explanation for a set of observations. It is often used in the formulation of hypotheses. For example, if a patient has symptoms A, B, and C, a doctor might infer that the best explanation is disease X. Abduction is less rigorous than deduction but is valuable in generating plausible hypotheses. In the scientific method, theories and models play a crucial role. A scientific theory is a well-substantiated explanation of some aspect of the natural world that is based on a body of evidence. Theories are not mere guesses, they are comprehensive and predictive frameworks that have withstood rigorous testing and scrutiny. Models, on the other hand, are simplified representations of complex systems. They are used to predict and explain phenomena. For example, the Bohr model of the atom, although not entirely accurate, provides a useful framework for understanding atomic structure and behavior. Models are valuable in that they allow scientists to test predictions and gain insights that would be difficult to obtain otherwise. The concepts of verification and falsification are central to the scientific method. Verification involves confirming that a hypothesis is consistent with observed data. However, the problem of induction means that no amount of positive outcomes can definitively prove a hypothesis. Verification can support a hypothesis but cannot establish it with absolute certainty. Falsification, proposed by philosopher Karl Popper, addresses the limitations of verification. According to Popper, scientific theories should be structured in such a way that they can be potentially refuted by empirical evidence. A theory that cannot be falsified is not considered scientific. Falsification allows for a more rigorous testing of hypotheses and theories, leading to a more robust scientific process. The demarcation problem concerns the distinction between science and non-science. It addresses the question of what criteria distinguish scientific knowledge from other forms of knowledge or belief. Popper's criterion of falsifiability is one attempt to solve this problem. However, this criterion has its limitations, as some scientific theories are not easily falsifiable, and some non-scientific claims can be framed in a falsifiable manner. Other philosophers, such as Thomas Kuhn and Imre Lakatos, have offered different perspectives. Kuhn introduced the concept of paradigms and scientific revolutions, arguing that science operates within paradigms that guide research until they are replaced by new paradigms in a revolutionary shift. Lakatos proposed the idea of research programs, which are series of theories developed over time. He suggested that the progressive or degenerative nature of a research program could serve as a criterion for scientific validity. Ethical considerations are integral to the scientific method. Scientific research can have profound implications for individuals and society, and it is essential that it is conducted responsibly. Ethical guidelines in science cover a range of issues, including honesty and integrity. Scientists must report data truthfully and avoid fabrication or falsification. The integrity of scientific research depends on the accuracy and honesty of the data presented. Researchers must strive to minimize bias in their experiments and analyses. This includes avoiding conflicts of interest and ensuring that personal beliefs do not skew the interpretation of data. In research involving human subjects, it is crucial to obtain informed consent, ensure confidentiality, and minimize harm. Ethical standards like the Declaration of Helsinki provide guidelines for conducting ethical research involving humans. When research involves animals, ethical standards demand that their welfare is considered and that suffering is minimized. Alternatives to animal testing should be used whenever possible. Scientists must consider the environmental implications of their research and strive to conduct studies that do not cause undue harm to the environment. The scientific method has evolved over time, adapting to new discoveries and technological advancements. The development of sophisticated instruments, such as telescopes, microscopes, and particle accelerators, has expanded the horizons of scientific inquiry. The rise of computational methods and artificial intelligence has also transformed the way scientists analyze data and develop models. The interdisciplinary nature of modern science has led to the integration of methods from different fields. For example, bioinformatics combines biology and computer science to analyze genetic data, while environmental science integrates ecology, chemistry, and geology to study ecosystems. The scientific method continues to evolve, incorporating new methodologies and addressing emerging challenges. The advent of big data, for example, has introduced new ways of collecting and analyzing vast amounts of information, requiring scientists to develop new tools and techniques to handle this data effectively. The scientific method has had a profound impact on society, driving progress and innovation in numerous fields. It has led to groundbreaking discoveries in medicine, technology, and the natural sciences, improving the quality of life and expanding human knowledge. The application of the scientific method has revolutionized medicine, leading to the development of vaccines, antibiotics, and advanced medical technologies. Research into the human genome has opened new avenues for personalized medicine and gene therapy. Scientific inquiry has driven technological advancements that have transformed the way we live and work. Innovations such as the Internet, renewable energy sources, and space exploration are products of rigorous scientific research and development. The scientific method has played a crucial role in understanding and addressing environmental challenges. Research into climate change, biodiversity, and conservation strategies has informed policies and initiatives aimed at protecting the planet. The principles of the scientific method have influenced education systems and public policy. Critical thinking, evidence-based reasoning, and the importance of empirical data are emphasized in educational curricula and policymaking processes. Despite its successes, the scientific method faces several challenges and criticisms. Some of these include the complexity of natural systems. Many natural systems are highly complex and difficult to study in controlled conditions. This complexity can limit the applicability of the scientific method and make it challenging to draw definitive conclusions. While empirical evidence is a cornerstone of the scientific method, it is not always possible to obtain direct evidence for certain phenomena. This limitation can hinder scientific progress in fields like cosmology and theoretical physics. Despite efforts to minimize bias, it can still influence scientific research. Cognitive biases, funding sources, and institutional pressures can affect the objectivity of scientific studies. Ethical considerations add another layer of complexity. Balancing the pursuit of knowledge with ethical responsibilities to humans, animals, and the environment is an ongoing challenge for the scientific community. Additionally, the pace of technological advancement and the rapid expansion of data present new challenges in terms of managing and interpreting vast amounts of information. In conclusion, the scientific method is a dynamic and evolving process that has significantly shaped our understanding of the world. It provides a rigorous framework for investigating natural phenomena, formulating theories, and advancing knowledge. While it is not without its challenges and limitations, the scientific method remains a cornerstone of scientific inquiry and a vital tool for driving progress and innovation in various fields. Its philosophical underpinnings, ethical considerations, and practical applications continue to evolve, reflecting the complexity and interconnectedness of the modern scientific landscape.